What up, everybody? Yo, it's your boy Mark Howard. You know what we do. We talk Cowboys here. That's what we do. Like I said, even when they suck, because they've been sucking this year, we're 6-8. Took another whipping at the hands of the LA Chargers at home. That was the last home game of the year. And 34-17. Scored all our points in the first half. What a effort. I mean, it's just like the offense was able to do a good job. First half, they came out fire, marched down the field, opening drive. Went for it on fourth down a couple of times and wasn't able to convert. Fourth and close, which is a little scary. And it's an indictment of the offensive line. But then after the adjustments that the Chargers made, especially for the second half, we drove down the field a couple times, but decided to go for it again. Like I said, we tried to go for it on fourth down a few times. And one of those times in the second half, we come away with no points on a decent drive. I didn't want to match that because, again, that comes into where the defense is so scary. But we'll get into all that. The season is definitely going to come to an end. We got 2 more games. We know that because Saturday, the day before we played, the Eagles have beaten the Washington Commanders, which sealed our fate. That secured the fact that they were going to win the division, and that was the only way we had left to get a chance to get into the postseason after we lost Minnesota the week before. So we're playing it out this Thursday on Christmas. We play the much-hated Washington Commanders in Washington, and then we'll finish out the week after that against the Giants. Right now, we got a lot of people that's came up with some injuries. Looking at the injury list, Overshown suffered a concussion. Quentin Williams suffered a concussion. I don't expect them to pass concussion protocol this early. I've always said concussions are, each individual has them differently. Some people make the week. I've seen some people need another week to pass concussion protocol. But I've never seen anybody come from a Sunday game in a concussion protocol and be ready for that Thursday game. So that's we're like going to be out of those guys. Other people, Flournoy is coming along. I think Flournoy has solidified himself as that third wideout. But he's questionable with a knee injury. Cavante Turpin with the shoulder, neck, had their shoulder. Javonte Williams has a neck injury. Bland didn't play with the foot. I don't know if he'll be ready for this Thursday. Probably won't play him if it's not really worth it in that sense. And there's a few others. But as far as our key players, starters, Revol is dealing with an injury. He's adapting the plan. So it's going to be a scattered bunch that we play. I wonder if Dak Prescott's going to play or start, or how long of the game will he play. Milton finished the game against the Chargers. Wondering if they're preparing him to start. I don't know on such short notice. I would imagine Dak gets a half. At least a half. See if they can try to do what they can in that game and feel good about themselves, and then let the backups, let's let Joe Milton take over. But it's going to be interesting. We're just playing this out. People playing for contracts is what we can talk about here going through the rest of the week. Playing for evaluation to see what's going to go on for the next season. Looking at the game of the Chargers, kind of wrapping up on it. Dak Prescott didn't have a bad game. Didn't have a killer game, but didn't have a bad game with a 116.5 rating, 76 QBR. Took a sack with some pressures there. Threw 2 touchdown passes in the first half. 244 yards to 21 to 30 passing. Milton came in 2 for 2, but he lost a fumble on a scramble as he was running. Running game didn't do much. Javonte Williams was not able to be effective. He had 9 carries for 34 yards. Malik Davis, I don't even look at how many yards. It's just the yards per carry. Javonte Williams has 1,000 yards in the season. I'm pretty sure he does. But we'd like to see him average 4 yards a carry. Yes, he got 1,100 yards. I want to double check that. But he had 3.8 yards a carry. We like to see him more like 4 or 5 yards a carry. Malik Davis had 2.9. Again, see him three, but like to see one of these running backs, especially Javonte Williams, getting a load of carries, impacting the game with a 4.5 to 5 yards per carry game. Receptions wise, Pickens had a 100-yard game, 130 yards off 7 catches and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 6 catches for 51 yards. He got over 1,000 yards for the season, as was Pickens. So we have 2,000-yard receivers for the season with some time left here. Offense has been offense. They haven't been able to put up 30 as much. A lot of pressure on a lot of stuff that's going on. Lines going through some injuries, things like that. No excuses. But the pressure to have to put 35 points a game is just not realistic. It's just not realistic. Our defense is the problem, which is we can go on to, really. You know, talking about the Cowboys, I can really, for the rest of the way, set the offense aside and really just focus on what the defense is not doing. Herbert threw for 300 yards off of 23 and 29, 23 out of 29 with 2 touchdowns. Rushing-wise, they did better on some rushing. Like Omarion Hampton, he didn't have 100 yards, but he averaged 5.3 yards a carry, as did Herbert, who only rushed 8 times, but he averaged 5.3 yards a carry. Those are big rushes. We tackle poorly. That big scramble, he had a 30-yard scramble, Justin Herbert did, when linebacker there, we had, I can't say his name, once at 59. Sorry. I would say not Kenny Clark, but Kenneth Murray had him in the backfield, didn't make the tackle, and he escapes out the other side, and he rushes for 30 yards. He's a runner. He can move. Looking more so than with the receptions-wise, Quentin Johnston ate us up 124 yards and a touchdown just on 4 receptions. 4 receptions. He averaged 26 yards of reception. Big plays into our secondary. We can't leave the secondary hanging out there like that. If our defense doesn't get that pressure on that front line, Quentin Williams got the concussion. He had to leave the game. Up the middle, I like us. We just got to get edge rushers, and that's where we are. We got to get edge rushers, and we got to shore up the secondary with better safety play. I'm not too mad about the cornerbacks. You know, we're probably going to lose Trayvon Diggs. He's lost a step. He got beat on a touchdown, even though it was his part of the cover too. He didn't get back, didn't move, react properly, which gave up a deep touchdown pass over his head. I think his explosion is not there. Now, is it a permanent loss of his explosion from his younger days? He's not old. He's still in his 20s, or has these knee injuries and the rehab and stuff like that. He just hasn't gotten back to true form. I don't know. Secondary-wise, we need to prepare. We need to get better. Need to revamp one way or the other. Overall, I'm looking at it, and I said with the personnel, we've improved our personnel. We still are weak in the secondary. The secondary, I've said the offensive line is the weakest part of the offense, the weakest room in the offense. The secondary is the weakest room in the defense, but the secondary is the weakest room of the whole team. All right? The secondary is the weakest room in the whole team. Even our special teams not great. We had a great kicker, but our coverage in the special teams lacks some performance that we're giving up good field position. The whole thing, though, to us is that Eberflus, pride is always going to be the downfall. It's been the downfall for all these time, over 30 years, with Jerry Jones. Eberflus is not the guy. I don't know if you're going to revamp the whole defense to make sure you get all of the type of guys, all the type of players that Eberflus needs to run an effective defense. I don't know that he can. Because look, even if you don't have the players for your defensive scheme that you're accustomed to running, that you're used to running, it shouldn't be this bad. It shouldn't be this bad. Justin Herbert and the Chargers lead the league in sacks. Lead the league in giving up sacks. Sacks taken. That Justin Herbert has taken more sacks than any other quarterback. We didn't get a sack one time. We didn't get one sack. That's sometimes players, but are we blitzing? Then we're able to put pressure the week before on JJ over there at get these names and stuff like that. But for the Minnesota Vikings, we put some pressure on them, but we don't keep pressure on him. He's not an accurate passer, but we let him off the hook because now they're not keeping the pressure on him to force him to throw interceptions. Now I got to go to the coaching. What are you seeing? I mean, you almost want to look at, are you paid for us not to win? Because when you need pressure on a quarterback that doesn't handle it that well, we don't get none. When you need situations for a quarterback that doesn't throw very well, that's going to give you the ball because he's just not accurate, he's not sharp yet, we don't put him in those positions to help us out. Our defense has the least amount of turnovers created. We go games without turnovers. Just the other day, I think the Raiders game is the one time we had multiple turnovers. It's pretty obvious. Moves are going to have to be made. We know that, and not only just a revamping of skill position players on the defense. That's what our draft should be focused on. But I think you need to get a better coach that can adapt. Forget the system. Can we get a defensive coordinator that can adapt to the player personnel you have? Because you're going to lose players to injuries and things like that. Some draft picks may not pan out. Man. Now, the last thing I'm gonna go with on this is that looking forward here, we got a couple more days. Today's practice, tomorrow, Wednesday, preparing for Thursday's game, going to Washington. That's a game we always have a rival for and want to win that game. I'm hearing a lot of trash talk from these Commandos fans that want to talk trash because the only thing they can do is talk trash when somebody else beats us because they can hardly beat us. But it doesn't matter to me. It does to beat Washington. Always got to beat Washington. Always got to beat Washington. If I want to look bigger picture now, because I know we're just better, we're just a better franchise than Washington, win or lose, I say we win by losing to Washington. I can always talk trash. I have no problem with talking trash beating Washington. But if we lose to Washington and maybe put ourselves in maybe a worse record than Washington, and that means we get a better draft pick, we move up higher in the top 10 of the draft picks, that means we beat Washington. See my psychological, see how I'm thinking? See how I'm thinking on that? I watch the game because I always watch. I pull for my boys because I always pull for my boys because I hate Washington. Two teams I hate the most played Saturday, Philadelphia and Washington. That's just tradition. But we gotta make our move. We gotta add to our situation. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes on that, man. Washington's, they're struggling too. They're down to their third string quarterback. Mariota got hurt in the Philadelphia game. He didn't finish. Doesn't look like he'll be ready for Thursday. Will they sit players? Will they leave McLaurin out there, who's had some injury issues? Debo Samuels. The running game for them hasn't been very tough neither, and their defense is whatever. I mean, they are. And that's why they suck. They got lucky last year. And, now the teams know what they're doing and get with Dan Quinn. I ain't hating on Dan Quinn, former coach. But, it's Washington, whatever the case may be. It'll be two sorry teams playing each other, but the way our defense is and the way Eberflus likes to make a team have the best offensive week of the season, you never know. This third string quarterback, and I haven't even looked, I'll go more into who would be the third string quarterback. But whoever it may be, he may end up having a career game. The way our defense acts, he may end up having a career game. So who knows? We'll see. We'll watch it. It's good if we lose because we get a better draft position. Right now we would be 13th pick. We'd love to see us get in the top 10. Might as well. We're not going anywhere else. We do draft well. So anyway, I'll leave it with that, guys. It's been a rough season here. We're in December. I know you guys are getting ready to get the holiday. Next time, we'll talk tomorrow. Getting into your shopping and doing what you're doing. I appreciate all of you tuning in. I appreciate anyone subscribing. Subscription is getting higher. I appreciate the subscribers. Hit like, jump in. Tell me what you think. You've been a little slow lately. I've been a little slow. But as I'm getting to this holiday season, with my season that I coach, I got a little time off this week. We're gonna get back into the holiday where it's gonna get a little busy and pick up, but I'll be doing my thing. I'll be doing what we do. You know what that is? Talking Cowboys, because that's what we do. We talk Cowboys here. Thank you all for watching. Peace and God bless.